This video, I want to compare a screw drive rotator and a fluid drive rotator on the exact same shear. The 230 shear, here is the screw drive rotator. You can see it's relatively thin. This is the box assembly that's necessary for it because it has a swivel that has some more depth back here. The benefit of the swivel is that you're able to have a slip ring so you can run wires through it to operate some of the controls on the shear. So this is the fluid drive rotator. The rotator has the swivel built into it and there is no slip ring, so you have to use a wireless control system. But it's a relatively simple, because basically it's just one piece that has everything built into it. It's bolted on one side to the shear, the other side onto the chassis that supports the coupler. The price difference between the two units, screw drive unit's about $1,000 more for the whole complete assembly. As far as weight, the screw drive is also about 100 pounds more for the whole assembly than the fluid drive rotator. So the operational characteristics of the screw drive rotator is that it's locked unless you're rotating it. So when you grab onto a tree, you can rotate it, and when you stop rotating, it stops and it holds it. As far as rotation speeds, the screw drive is going to be relatively slow, which at about 3 RPMs maximum, but it is smooth and operates nicely. The fluid drive rotator has a wide range of speeds, but at the low end is not as smooth as a screw drive, but it can go quite a bit faster. The rotational characteristics of the fluid drive are much more fluid than the screw drive. It does not lock like the screw drive does. It's going to be more of a clutched effect and can be overcome by a load in some cases. All right, so why would you choose one of these rotators over the other? The screw drive rotator is going to be for someone who needs real precise controls and is concerned about safety on their site for cars, people, houses, anything like that. You're definitely going to want the screw drive. For less experienced operators, I'd also recommend the screw drive. The fluid rotator is going to be good for applications like forestry, where there's going to be a little more room for error in handling the trees and where the operator is going to want a little more speed and efficiency. One thing I think it's really important for people to know about the fluid drive is to understand that it is going to be a clutched system, and there are going to be situations where the weight of the tree will overtake the rotator and it will rotate, not fast, but down to the ground on its own, and you're not going to be able to stop that. The screw drive rotator is going to be a good choice for a lot of situations. It is going to be a little more expensive. It does weigh a little more. It is a little more complicated assembly, but it is going to offer the most consistent control over the trees. One other consideration, if your machine only has one auxiliary, you may not want to consider the fluid drive because you'll have a diverter and it may be difficult to control the flow and it may rotate more quickly than you would like. So some people might ask, is a rotator really necessary? And in the case of a lot of tree shears, I would say that's a reasonable question. And in a lot of cases, it may not be a cost-effective choice. But in the case of the BioJack, where you have a grapple and an operable knife, adding the rotator really allows you to capitalize on all the potential of this tool to be both a tree shear and a grapple. So you can both cut trees, but handle them and sort them. So neither one of these rotators is better than the other. It's all going to depend on what your applications are, and it's going to depend on the operator. If you have more questions about this, and just feel free to give me a call. Let's talk about it. I'm happy to hear about what you need to do and help you figure out what's best for you. Thanks for watching.